Alright, hey everybody, this is TyCasts. Continuing on with ASL Season 13, we have the winners match now in Group A, and it's going to be between Light and Rain. Both of these players showed some really excellent play in the previous best-of-1 matches against their opponents. Light played against the previous ASL champion, Mini, in a back-and-forth match where it really looked like Mini had the upper hand, and Light just showed some incredible resilience and the ability to play under pressure, turn that game around. On the other hand, Rain just kind of dominated his Terran opponent, just with just really good positional and macro play and good decision making. So let's see what happens here. This is really interesting. Rain has not looked like he's just looked unstoppable so far in this tournament. He hasn't really ever been in a challenged position yet, I think. So, but it's really exciting because I think Light is the type of player that can bring it to him and start making Rain look vulnerable again. Alright, so we are playing, this is going to be a best of 3, and we have Eclipse as the first map, which is a 2-player map. There's only 2 spawns, so you can see here Rain is sending his probe to the top right location. He knows exactly where his opponent is, so he's sending it straight there to see what he's doing. I have heard that this map is very Protoss favored in the Protoss versus Terran matchup, so let's see if that's true, and let's see if Light does anything weird to try to, like, get that advantage back. We saw Light take his refinery as quickly as possible. As soon as that probe was making a beeline towards the gas, Rain really wanted to steal that gas, and it's very easy to do on. Well, it's not that easy to do, I guess, but on Eclipse, it's pretty. It's easier than other maps because it's only a 2-player map, so you know exactly where to go. And you can put Terran in a pretty tricky position if you steal their gas, because it takes a pretty long time to destroy an assimilator. They have more health for some reason than refineries and extractors. I think they have like 750 health instead of 500 if I remember correctly. So, the DPS of Terran units early isn't the highest, right? You have SCVs and probably a single Marine. And especially if Rain comes up with like a Zealot, then the Marines will be busy. So, anyway, none of that's happening. Instead, he got his gas, he got his 100 gas, and he threw down a factory. Pretty standard coming out of the Terran right now. And he hasn't really been, his plans haven't been screwed up at all yet by Rain. Excuse me. Alright, that probe, scouting probe comes back in, does a little bit of damage on the SCV that's trying to build a factory there. Another Marine pops out of the barracks, gonna try to push that probe away. You see that supply depot that Light built right there at the top of the at the top of the minerals. That kind of closes off the walking path in the back there because he didn't want the probe to be able to skirt around the minerals and continue scouting his base. Instead, those Marines are able to push that probe out. I think he would have loved to have killed that probe, but he wasn't able to. Rain taking his Nexus, natural Nexus, and a single Zealot making its way over to the Terran base, but it's going to turn around. You can see it there on the minimap. It turned around. So that's kind of just to fake the Terran out, make him think that you're coming to put some pressure, and kind of force a bunker out of Light. So Light did put a bunker down. Well, I guess I shouldn't say forced a bunker, because Light's going to want that bunker anyway. You need it for the Dragoon that's inevitably going to come, and here it is. The Dragoon tries to push past. Nope, actually what he does there is he just wants to scout past the bunker to confirm that Light is putting that command center down, and indeed he is. So nothing, Rain doesn't have to worry about some kind of a one base all-in play. It's looking really standard so far. Alright, single vulture is out on the map, finds that original scouting probe, and is able to use those grenade canisters to destroy it. Two vultures join up now, and they're gonna make their way across the map. And two dragoons from Rain are holding that choke. I saw the machine shop spinning, and yep, it's vulture speed. It's not mines, and it's not siege mode. So he's using that vulture speed to try to push past. He really wanted to get up that ramp, but Rain pulled that zealot just in time to block the ramp. Really good stuff. You know, he invested in vulture speed to try to do some damage with those two vultures, but wasn't able to do it. So that's a small win for Rain. Rain is putting down two more pylons at that choke to reduce the you know, the size, the opening there for future attempted run-bys. And yeah, so we see Light with the earlier engineering bay, and he puts a turret down at his natural for potential Dark Templar. That's kind of the more standard engineering bay timing, as far as I know. You know, we saw Royal in the last game kind of skip that. Alright, these vultures are just trying to poke around, see if they can find some kind of opening. You can see how he's focus firing that zealot, because zealots are small units and dragoons are large units. Small meaning like the armor type, and vultures do full damage against small units. And they only do a quarter damage against large, so they do their full 20 damage against zealots. So just a couple shots and that zealot almost went down, but didn't go down, so those shields on that zealot are going to regenerate. Single armory is spinning, you can see there, is probably getting +1 attack for factory units. And we see Light destroying that egg that's in front of his base just to kind of clear the walking path a little bit more. Rain is attempting to take his third base here. He's got a single dragoon on the ramp to prevent the vultures from getting up. And Light is throwing down two more factories, preparing to transition into the mid-game. Alright, Terran Academy going down for Light now. Pretty standard, he's going to eventually have to get Comsat. And we see a probe transfer coming out of Rain to that third base. All really standard so far. This is shaping up to be, you know, a pretty good macro game between these two. Nobody really took early game damage, and both players are just setting up to transition to the mid-game. Rain's got an observer here, taking a look at what's, you know, the factory count and what's being produced out of the factories. So no surprises. Excuse me. All right. We saw that shuttle load up 4 zealots. So Rain looking to do some zealot harassment. Let's see what this can get done. We see that there's a couple turrets around, and as well as a siege, you know, a tank in siege mode at the main base for Light. So he's kind of expecting some kind of drop to come in. That shuttle does not have speed yet, so you know, slow shuttles are pretty damn slow. 2 big Comsats go down from Light, lighting up the entire base of Rain. So he gets to see that his opponent's not really doing anything too sneaky. I think he's, you know, he's looking for stuff like, you know, early carriers maybe, or early Templar, but instead he sees just 6 gateways and dragoons being produced, which is really quite standard. 2 more factories coming out of Light now,
승리의
and
어떤
we
승리를
are
하기 위해서 우리가
rapidly
트리플을 먹는
going
과정에서
into
만약에 이제 탱크 손해가 발생을 하더라도 프로토스
mid-game
유닛을
macro
딱
game.
잡아먹고
We see
탱크가
Rain
단둘 셋만
taking his
남는다고
fourth base
하더라도 트리플만 안정적으로 먹었을 때는
and
테란이
starting
이름에서
to
힘을 쓰는
move some
경우가
dragoons
많거든요.
across the map with those observers to clear out some mines. You know, this is the stage of the game where there's just small skirmishes going on back and forth to try to gain more advantageous positions and better map vision. That observer that was checking out the Terran factories was killed by a turret. We see Rain at about 140 food, Light at about 100. This, you know, you might look at that and feel like it's a big advantage for the Protoss, but it's not too big. Terran is, well, you know, 40 food's quite a bit. I do think maybe Rain is starting to get a bit of an advantage this game, but it's not the end of the world for the Terran. I think the Terran's main goal right now is to secure a third base, because Rain's got his fourth. So, and now Light, Speed Vultures have found that fourth base, and he sees that the Nexus is already up. Ooh, a lot of Vultures here at the fourth base, but there's two cannons. You know, he's targeting these probes. I think he probably killed like 5 or 6 probes, but he lost, I think, 8 Vultures there. You know, hopefully those Vultures have already laid all their mines, but from a pure, you know, cost efficiency standpoint, I think Rain definitely came out on top. I know Terrans often want to trade away their Vultures that have laid their mines because Vultures are so food intensive. But this gives Rain an opening here to attack. Actually, look at this huge Protoss arc of units coming in here on the Terran position. Terran is trying to push out of his main base, but he's meeting a gigantic Protoss army of Zealots and Dragoons. Nothing special here, no shuttles, no Reavers, no Templars, just pure Protoss muscle. And he muscles his way right up the ramp, and Light is just dead. Holy crap, Rain again has not looked challenged at all in this tournament so far. He's just crushing everybody, and if he can crush Light like that, he is looking kind of invincible. And his Protoss vs Terran matchup is actually statistically his weakest. So I don't know. I mean, Rain. We need to see what can take this guy down, because it's hard to imagine a Terran taking him down. If Light, you know, couldn't even muster some kind of a, you know, even-looking game, then you know, who can take Rain down? You know, again, Eclipse is a pretty Protoss favored map. I think, you know, Protoss is able to secure 3 bases really quickly, and they get this just huge area to work with in front of the Terran base where they can attack from like this gigantic arc. So anytime the Terran decides to try to move out of his main base, the Protoss, if the Protoss has any kind of army advantage, he can just crush it like we just saw. That was just amazing to see. It's just pure Zealot Dragoon. There's no tech in that, you know, there's no High Templar, no storms went down, not even any shuttle Zealot bombs, but just A-moved Zealots and Dragoons. Well, he probably didn't A-move his Zealots, he probably actually manually moved them to walk on top of the siege tanks, but you know, you can see why throwing away 8 Vultures might trigger that type of move and lose you the game, because if he had 8 Vultures there, he probably could have killed more of those Zealots that are coming in, and I mean, it looked pretty one-sided, but maybe he could have taken a better engagement there. Alright. Match number 2 is going to be on Allegro. So this should be a lot better for Terran. Light looking a little pale there after that first match. But you know, Light's a competitor. I think he can rally here, and let's see if he can show us a better game.
오늘 보여주는 그 플레이를 봤을 때는 와 진짜 흠 없는 플레이를 보여주는.
Allegro is a 4-player map, a more traditional looking map, I'd say. There's some terrain changes in the middle of the map. There are 4, 8, 12, 16 possible bases, so lots of possible expansions. And, you know, more choke points across the map, tighter locations, so Terrans should have an easier time to defend themselves from something like the Protoss attack in the last game. So hopefully that'll give Light
약간 좀 특이한
fighting
그런
chance.
종종 보여주기도 하는 그 선수다.
I really want to see. I want to see Rain get challenged. You know, I want to see how he handles pressure and what it looks like when he actually is under some threat of losing a game. Because so far, he's just made everybody look like he is in a different class.
시간과 정신의 방 이런 데 지금은 다녀온 게 아닌가 할 정도로 경기 자체도 예전 그 포스 그대로이고.
All right, we have
느낌이 들 정도로
Rain
굉장히 강력한 모습을
with
현재까지
his scouting probe going to the top right-hand location. He's not going to find anything there. He's going to see that his opponent is cross-spawn. So I think so far in this tournament we've seen a lot of you know, adjacent spawn games. This might be one of the few ones where it's cross-spawn. So let's see who that might favor.
이번 경기보다 조금 다르겠죠. 아무래도 1경기는 그러니까 프로토스에게 주도권을 빼앗기지 않기 위해서
Light has sent out his scouting SCV. He's going to meet that probe halfway, and I think from that, yeah, he's not going to be able to figure out that Protoss is at the top left, because maybe it's just a slightly later probe scout, so he still has to check top right. Checks top right, sees that nothing's there, and this probe checks bottom right and confirms that Light is in the bottom right hand location. Marine pops out to push that probe back. Standard openers from both these guys so far. Single Zealot making its way across the map. I think this SCV is going to see it. Ooh, you know, this is interesting. Light, I think, is going for like an end scout pattern where he checks top right and then bottom left. But it actually worked the way that the end scout is supposed to work this time, where you see the Zealot, right? So normally his SCV going to the top right might go to the top left right after confirming that nobody's at the top right. But you know, if he did that, he wouldn't have known this Zealot is coming halfway across the map. Right? Instead, he's able to see the Zealot. That confirms two things. One, that a Zealot is coming, and two, that the Zealot is coming from the top left. So the SCV is able to change its direction, and instead of, you know, completing that end scout pattern and go to the bottom left, he instead goes to the top left and confirms that his opponent is up there. Alright, we see both players taking their natural expansions. Dragoon range being researched. That probe is still kind of poking around the front there. He's going to want to... He really wants to confirm that a command center is going down, but he's not able to do that with the 3 Marines there. Here comes the first Dragoon. Vulture out for Light. And it's going to come across, going to find this probe and probably take it down. Yep. Kills it with 2 moving shots there, and then continues forward. Armory going up for Light. Looks like pretty much the exact same build as last game, so but we know how last game went, and Light is going to have to make, you know, he's going to have to kind of change something. Maybe clean up his macro or take some kind of early game advantage to prevent the onslaught of Protoss that he lost to in the last game. And it looks like he is doing something with this little bit of pressure play. 2 Vultures and 3 Marines come up, start focus firing the Dragoon on the right. A single Spider Mine gets laid, but it gets focused down. Good focus fire from the Protoss. The second Spider Mine also gets taken down. And the Zealot is on top of those 2 Marines. mines.
이거 안전.
이게 좀이라도 흔들 수 있는 그
All three
여지가
marines
있기
get taken
때문에
down.
가까운 공격인데
맞습니다.
As well as
너무
the two
깔끔하게
original
막아내지 않습니까?
vultures,
사업도 안
and
됐는데
이걸
Rain
완벽하게 좀 막아내고
again
있고
comes
거기서
out on
추가로
top of
나오고
that engagement. He
난입까지도
doesn't lose a
실패.
single unit. He just loses some health on
어떤
his
류의
two
찌르기든
dragoons
공격적으로 올
and
가능성이
Zealots
있다
there.
생각하고
So,
로직스보다 앞마당이
you know,
빠른 이후에
pressure was
로직스보다
exerted, but
게이트웨이를
Light
하나를 더
did
추가를
not
먼저 했고요. 이후에
find the damage he
로직스까지
was
지금은
looking for, I don't think.
추가하면서 상대방의 오는 공격을 투드라군 원질롯으로 너무 지금은 잘 막아냈습니다.
Alright, with another vulture that has come up, Light is laying mines, kind of in a perimeter around the
상대
Protoss
병력도
base.
잡아먹었겠다. 옵저버 하나 딱 뜨면은
Just
이
that
마인
mine
제거
right
지금은
there at
해가면서
the 12 o'clock position is able to
트리플 바로 가져갈 수
confirm
있습니다.
that
상대 병력
Rain hasn't
잡아먹었으니까.
attempted to take that base yet.
일단 그 압박
probe
자체를
is
통해서
here
큰
at
획을
the
못
mineral
봤지만
only
지금 상대의
expansion
이 트리플 타이밍
front
자체를
of
읽을 수 있었습니다.
The
이건
Protoss
정말 큰
base, and
거예요.
Rain puts his nexus down there. So there's no gas
이
at that
상대방이
base,
어떤
but it
병력이
is
너무 적기
easier to
때문에
defend.
혹시라도 태클을 빨리
than
타는
the
것이
12 o'clock
아닌가라고
base.
의심을 해서 엠베를 빨리 지어놨었거든요.
네.
근데 이렇게 트리플이 빠르다라는 것을 좀 안 상태에서는 털에 최소화를 해야죠.
추가 팩토리 늘리고 있고요.
I mean, this is so far pretty much looking like last game. So I'm a little worried for Light.
찌르기는
I'm
실패로
worried that
돌아갔어요.
Rain,
참잘 읽어냅니다.
you know, is just going to play his
프로브의 움직임만 보더라도 마인을
solid
통해서 상대의
standard
빠른
macro
트리플을
game
읽을 수
and
있어서
dominate
엠베는
again.
지웠지만 지금
Because
털이
it's,
없지 않습니까?
you know, if it ain't broke,
그래서 지금 자원
why fix it,
낭비가
right?
거의
Like
없고
nobody's been able to
그런 상황을
fight back against that so far.
자, 서로 좀 맞춰나가면 눈치싸움 정말 치열해요. 조금이라도 이득 보기 위해서 스타포트 올리고요. 옵저버를 통해서 상대방의 움직임을
Alright.
주시하고 있고.
The first observer makes its way across and gets to see what the Terran is doing inside of his main base. He sees two factories, machine shop spinning, and a third factory going up. Kind of confirms that there's a turret and a siege tank in the main base, so you know he's got some protections against drop play. Gets to see the starport going up as well in the top right hand corner of the Terran base.
마인 매설한 그 위치도 지켜보고 있어요.
네, 기본적으로 요즘 셔틀을 워낙 이제
That's interesting.
초중반부터
Robotic
계속,
support bay
나올 때부터
was
활용을 많이
built
하기
over
때문에
there at the third base.
기본적으로 이제 드랍 공격에 대한 대비를 미리미리 지금
you know,
해놓고 탄탄하게
It's
유닛을
not
모아가겠다라는
the
생각이
craziest
들어요.
thing because Terran probably expects speed shuttles to come into play and reavers, but you know, just every little bit of information that you can hide would be good.
전혀 모를 뻔했습니다.
Excuse me. We saw 3 vultures push in there on the third base, take out a couple probes, but they sacrificed their lives. But they do confirm that there's a robotic support bay there. Second armory going up for the Terran. Spider mines, there's a couple mines laid behind the mineral line at the natural base for Light. So those are like anti-reaver or anti-drop mines, basically. So let's see if they come into play. That shuttle is making its way across the map now, but Light is, he has full awareness of this shuttle. A full pylon wall has gone up for Rain at his mineral-only base there. That's to prevent vultures from getting on top of the probes.
셔틀 하나가
And this shuttle actually goes into the main base. Looks like shuttle speed finished.
게이트웨이 확보를 합니다. 폭발적으로 게이트웨이 확보를 미리 해놓고 상대방의 자
Ooh. Alright, the Zealots get dropped off, and there's a Reaver in there as well. Let's see how the Scarab goes. Alright, the Scarab hits the Goliath. Second Scarab, looks like it's going to be a dud. Yep. Okay. So he lost a Reaver and 2 Zealots as well as the shuttle, and I think he really got nothing done. Pretty good start for Light. And Light's got his own drop coming across, and there's no defenses here whatsoever. I think he was able to do this. Yep, it's a vulture drop. 2 vultures get dropped at the natural, forcing a pull from the probes there. The dropship is continuing to the main base. 2 more vultures are dropped on the main, forcing a probe pull there too. He's getting a couple probe kills, at least 2, 3 now in the main base, and I think he got 2 or 3 in the natural. Ooh, he gets to this third base, but he's shooting the probes from the cliff. Yeah, this is just serving some pain to Protoss here. Gets 2 more probes, he's gonna get a third one. Doesn't quite get the third one, and the vultures get cleaned up. But that was a good drop. I don't think he lost the dropship either. He got in there, forced probes to pull off of their mining, and probably killed, you know, at least 3 probes at each mineral line. I think we saw 5 go down at the main base. So, what I was saying earlier, where Rain is just looked invincible, we might be seeing a tiny bit of vulnerability this game. Light is able to keep much closer in supply count with 120 to 104 right now. Light is taking his 3rd base, and he's successfully, you know, secured a really big Terran entrenched position here with a ton of siege tanks. Alright, this speed shuttle is coming into the main base once again. I don't know what was loaded in there. Turret starts to shoot it, but the shuttle gets in, no problem. Alright, we got a Reaver and 2 Zealots once again. The Reaver is targeting... Oh man, Light needs to stop this Reaver from killing these 3 supply depots and the armory. If he kills the armory, that's pretty huge because the army... Okay. Oh. Alright, he gets 1 supply depot, but I think he successfully stops the armory from getting taken down. That Reaver is still in that shuttle, but I saw that it only has like 1 health left, so a single siege tank shot should pop it, and I think the shuttle's kind of trapped in here. He really wants that armory, because if he can halt the upgrade, that's a big advantage for Protoss. A Wraith comes out, awesome idea. Light actually produces a Wraith to push off that shuttle. I really like that. That's really cool. Yeah, because Wraiths are like, usually, I don't know, usually you see Protoss that go speed shuttle, it looks like the Terran has nothing to like really do anything about it, but I've always thought like, why not build a Wraith? But you know, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a Terran player, but that looks pretty good because the Wraith can match the speed shuttle in speed. Alright, 4 more Vultures get dropped in the Protoss main base. This time, Rain does have a cannon in the main base. Light is just targeting probes. He gets probably like 4 in the main base and another couple at that mineral only base by shooting over the ledge again. Cool little moves here, keeping Rain on his toes, keeping his economy down just a little bit, and just keeping him busy. Alright, we see a large... Oh, nice move. 5 Vultures coming here, snipe 2 High Templar, and he only loses 2 Vultures, well, only loses 1 Vulture. Now the Vultures go to the 3rd base. That pylon wall is doing its job. The Vultures can't really get in there. Gets a couple probe kills, but not too much. 4th command center getting built at that 3rd base with the intention of taking a 4th base over there on the right-hand side, I believe. We see Light on 1 armor and 2 attack upgrades for his mech. So he's in good spot with that. You know, critically he didn't lose that armory when that Reaver drop came in earlier, so he's able to stay on top of his upgrades. 2-1 is when the Terran army looks pretty fearsome. And you see here, Terran's got 160 food, Rain at 180. This is not an advantage for Rain. It's not an advantage. You know, Terran is definitely keeping up this game. 4th command center lands at that 4th base. We see a ton of Zealots, probably like 24 or even more Zealots. Rain is moving across the map, this huge exodus of Protoss units. He's ready to put some pressure on the Terran. He's got a pretty good area to work with here. He's starting to push and clear out these mines, but the Terran is sieged up. I really don't want to see Rain attack into this. If Rain attacks into this, he is gonna lose everything. The Terran army here is just so entrenched. Alright, some of the Zealots are starting to get on top of the siege tanks. Okay. You know, Rain always takes pretty good engagements. I'm just like surprised. I saw how many siege tanks there were and how deep that tank line was, and I thought the Protoss was just gonna get slaughtered, but he does successfully take down, you know, half of that Terran position. They've evened up on food, though. Usually, again, you want to see, as a Protoss, you want to be ahead on the supply count. some High Templar being loaded up into the shuttle. Light is able to reinforce his position because it's just so close to him. Those factories are just rallying out more vultures and siege tanks.
중요한 드라곤 숫자 그 유지까지 합니다. 테라는
I think Light was pretty happy with that engagement though. Because Protoss gave away quite a lot.
완료가 됐습니다. 이재호
And now we have Rain poking at the top of this minefield here, but not gonna find much there. Siege tanks are already sieged. Alright, here comes a storm drop at the 4th base. Shuttle gets taken down, but he does throw down 2 storms, kills a couple SCVs, but not enough. Tries to morph an Archon, but that's not gonna get up. Single Zealot as well gets taken down. So this shuttle drop, this storm drop was deflected very well. Alright, yeah, this is the game I was looking for. Rain he is definitely being challenged in this game. Another storm drop is coming in here. Well, I'm not sure if it's a storm drop. I don't know what's in there. I think it's stormers, but thinks better of it. Turns around. The shuttle gets down to red health, but doesn't die. Large group of vultures are just laying down some mines across the map here. Now the vultures confirm that 5th base location. 4, 5, yeah, at the 9 o'clock position. The vultures start to shoot those cannons and take them down. Here comes that red shuttle again. So there are 3 zealots in there, and he's gonna take out these vultures. The vultures kill a couple probes, but nothing too big. And we have Rain starting to max out here, as well as Light. Light is getting close to 200 food here as well. Pretty good map vision. More vultures are being sacrificed at that 5th base location. He's just attacking the economy of Protoss. He seems totally fine throwing these vultures away. Probably because, you know, he's got these 4 bases that he's sitting very healthily on. Alright, we saw the observer switch off the vision of the Protoss for a moment just to see what the Terran sees. So the Terran did get to see that there's a Stargate towards the back of the Protoss base. 2 shuttles get dropped here at the 3 o'clock position, Stormers and Zealots. Oh, a big storm goes off! And he's storming everything, but one of those really did the job. And as all those SCVs were trying to escape that position, one of those storms killed all of those SCVs, the stacked SCVs. I don't know how many were in there. Probably like 10 or something. But now we have Light coming across with a maxed out Terran army, and he lands an amazing EMP and another EMP on the Stormers. And those Stormers have no energy. There's only a couple storms left on this army. He gets a couple storms off. Those are really good storms though. But look at this tank count. And oh my god. Rain is trying to come in here and get some good storms, but half his army gets just slaughtered by the deep tank line. More vultures come forward and snipe these vulnerable High Templar, while this massive tank army pushes forward towards the main base of Rain. And I think with this food discrepancy, 160 for Light and only 120 for Rain, we're finally going to see Rain drop a game in this tournament. Because Light does not look like he's going to be stopped here. Yeah, alright, Rain, GG's. Awesome. Really good, solid macro play coming out of the Terran. That's good. He's not looking so pale anymore. I think he is looking a little more calm now. That's really reassuring in these tournament situations. You want to, you know, after that first game, Light might be sitting there just asking himself, like, wait, am I just not as good as this guy? Or what? Because that one was so one-sided. But this time, they fought back and forth, and Light came out on top. And so that's, you know, that builds a lot of confidence, right? Light is probably thinking to himself now, like, yeah, I can beat this guy. So the series is tied up 1-1. And we're going to go into our
굉장히
Cider
적절한
match here.
대처를 또 보여주게 되면서
네.
이번 경기를 또 따낼 수 있었네요.
그렇죠. 빈틈을 찾고 그 빈틈을 노리기 위해서 여러 차례 드랍 공격을 좀 감행했던 정윤주 선수의 그 공격을 이재호 선수 잘 막아내면서요. 기회를 만들었고 중간중간 치는 벌처 견제도 날카로웠습니다.
And the third set is going to be on Revolver. Looks like the players banned Butter and Monopoly. Light banning Butter and Rain banning Monopoly.
집중력은 지금 극강입니다.
You know, Monopoly is a bit of a weird map. It's kind of it's a huge map. Revolver is also a pretty big map, but we're gonna see these two. Just based on these bans, I think these players are probably pretty confident in their standard play, right? They don't want to lose any games on like weird maps or anything like that. Alright, let's see what happens in this third set.
(3세트) 경기입니다. 테란 이재호 선수예요. 이재호 선수는 7시, 이에 맞서는 정윤종 선수 1시. 리볼버 대각선 방향에서 경기 시작됐어요. 한 경기씩 주고 받았습니다. 들어오는 공격을 완벽하게 틀어막고 난 이후에 병력 갖추고 정윤종 선수를 물리친 이재호 선수. 두 번째 세트 경기에서 따라잡았어요.
네, 빈틈을 크게 보이지 않으면서 상대에게 승리 요건을 챙겨주지 않기 위해서 진짜 사소한 부분에서도 되게 신경을 많이 쓰는 이재호 선수였습니다. 본질한 쪽에 어떤 리버가 포함된 드랍에 한 차례 그게 아머리가 깨졌으면 뭔가 본인이 생각한 타이밍보다 좀 늦게 가질 수 있는 이런 상황이었겠지만 그것도 결국은 수비를 해냈고
Spawning here in the top right, we have Rain, our yellow Protoss.
그냥 육로로 이동해서 상대가 모아놓은
And on the
자리에
bottom left,
하이템플러를 두기 딱
we have
잘라먹어서
Light,
순간적으로 폭발하는 화력에서 큰
sporting
역할을
this light
큰
blue
역할을 하는 하이템플러를
color
잡아내고 여러
on
가지로
those
사소한
Terran
부분에서
buildings.
조금씩 앞서가다 보니까 이재호가 큰 싸움에서 결국은 이겨냈습니다.
네. 이재호 선수가 따라잡았고 정윤종 선수 1경기 승리 따내고는 2회 두
So,
번째 경기 내줬습니다. 현재 스코어는 1대1.
Revolver.
좀 초반에 이 주도권을
Revolver is an
포스가
interesting
가져갈
map.
수 있는 맵이
It has
아닌
this.
경우에는 이재호 선수가
It has this natural
보이네요.
expansion that
1대2의
is
그
pretty
분위기와는
easy to
너무나도
defend
달랐던
because of
두 번째
the
세트였습니다.
small choke.
1경기 패배를 제대로 갚았죠.
There's kind of like two small choke points that lead into the natural base.
될수 있겠는데요.
더 모아요. 갑니까?
One of them's a
알고
ramp,
봤더니 대각이더라.
and the other is
들어가서 지금 바로
a walking path, but it's pretty
넥서스를
small. So you can
가져가면
see here,
대각선 방향에
Rain throws down his Nexus. It's a
가로
12
세로
Nexus,
방향이
right?
가까운 맵이기 때문에 특히 세로 방향 같은 경우는
네.
엄청 가깝거든요. 30초
맞습니다.
미만이니까. 이런
Yeah, I think
대단함.
that's a Nexus first build.
대단함.
예.
예, 게다가 패배를 하더라도 다시 기회 있잖아요.
그렇죠.
So that's a really
패를
greedy
굴리면서
opener for the
승부수를
Protoss.
띄웠어요. 정윤종 선수가.
It loses
이재호
to
선수의
early,
정체 11시 쪽으로 갑니다.
like, like a early barracks pressure, like center racks or something like that.
최고의 선택이 된 거죠.
네.
So
결국은
Rain
이
taking a
상황을
little
봤을 때 상대가
risk here to gain
원터치가 아닌 상황에서의
a
대각선.
economic edge.
그리고 들어가서
Rain scouted cross map,
대각선
I think,
위치에 있는 걸
right?
확인하는
Yeah.
정윤종.
So he's
볼만합니다.
that's pretty good. He just scouts diagonally and finds his opponent on the first shot. That's another gamble that he took to find out where his opponent is, and it paid off.
확인하고 건들 준비까지.
Oh, this is painful
게다가 테란이 센터 쪽
because
둘러보고
I see
내려가요.
Light's SCV
터치가 돼버리고 말았습니다.
scouting again in the end
대각
pattern.
정찰을 했고 상대는 대각
So
정찰을
he's gonna
지금은 한
find
상황에서 성공을 한
Rain
이런 상황이니까 뭔가
last,
순간적으로
right?
지금은
He's gonna
오류가
find
날
him last,
수밖에 없는
and
상황이었어요.
he's gonna find out that
생각보다
Rain
빨리
went
타이밍
for a
선수가
Nexus
왔다는 그
first
계산
build.
때문에
앞마당에다가
this is
빠르게 더블을 하고
basically
나서
like
대각 정찰을 보냈는데
the worst
그것마저도
possible
성공을
situation
해서
for
모든
Terran.
상황에서 지금은 좋은 거죠.
Because he didn't find him early
가장
enough to put
마지막에
any kind of
성공하게
pressure
예,
on that
그래서
greedy
빌드
opener.
자체도 지금은 좀 꼬아버린 상태로
And he
시작했는데
go for a greedy opener himself because he didn't know what his opponent was doing.
엄청나게 빠르다라고 할 수 없고요. 이거 보자마자 충격일
So he's gonna
겁니다.
come up here and see a Nexus that is fully formed and decent saturation already. So this is definitely pretty painful for Light.
딱 보더라도 게이트웨이도
Two gateways have been constructed already, and yeah, I mean,
상대방의 출발을 좀 확인했고
Light is in a position where he just has to digest that he's behind right now.
무난하게 맞춰 나가면 안 되니까
네.
좀 과감하게 트리플 선택을 할까도 좀 봐야 될 것 같습니다.
그렇죠. 지금 보기만 해도 지금 한숨이 나오는 상황이거든요. 자, 이 상황을 이재호 선수 어떻게 극복하게 될지. 로보틱스
Robotics coming down for Rain.
예, 보통 테란이 좀 빠른 타이밍에 이
And
트리플을
just
들어갈 때
now,
트리플이 하나에서
the
진행되거든요.
Terran
마인과 함께.
natural command center is finishing.
네.
So you can see that Rain had like probably a full minute of time or even longer to mine from that natural base. So and like more pro production. So
대각선 위치에서 상대가
um,
정찰도 늦고 하니까
Rain's definitely
수비는 우선적으로 만들었지만
he's gonna
상대의 공격적인 어떤
he has more
플레이가
money to
예상이 안
work with
되는
right now.
시점에서 게이트 쪽에다가 자원을 많이 쓴 게 아니라 로보틱스도 빠르게 확보를 했어요. 이러면은
So it looks like
앞마당을 빠르게 먹은 이상
um,
좀 손해를 봤어야 되는
Light's
텍트적인
decision
어떤
here
부분도 지금은
to try to
확보를 되는 거죠.
get back into
그쪽으로
this
만약에
isn't to like
상대방의 본진한 쪽을
be
보면
aggressive or
어떤 그
anything,
상대의
but
위협적인
to just
의도도
try to
만약에
macro
있다면
up
빠르게 파악을
and
할수
catch up
있고.
himself.
상대가 유닛이 적다? 그냥 바로 트리플 해버리면 되고 선택지가 많아졌습니다. 자원이 일단 풍족하고요.
목적은 태클이에요.
Observatory going up
자원의 활성화 부분.
for Rain, so pretty standard once again.
정윤종 선수 앞서 나가는
Second,
가운데
that was a second machine shop, I think, right? For Light. So
위한 어떤 움직임이 보이게 될지 12시 쪽으로 가서 이렇게 파일럿 건설 중입니다. 정윤종.
that's interesting. He is looking to get into pretty heavy tank count early on. You know, usually a Terran will only have a single machine shop and then like 2 extra factories with no machine shops for that mix of tanks and vultures. But it looks like this game, Light's idea is to go light on the vultures and heavy on the tanks. Alright, we have Rain building a hidden pylon and robotic support bay over here at the it's about an 11 o'clock position. So that's to prevent Light from being able to scout that out with any kind of comsat or anything. You know, I'm not a Terran player and I don't play the PvT matchup, but I don't know. I wouldn't expect that robotic support bay to be too impactful, right? Because I feel like speed shuttles or reavers is like standard play. So hiding that, I feel like that's not that big of a deal, even if Rain never finds it. What might be a bigger deal is if Rain put like a Citadel and a Templar archive over there, because DTs that's not as common, and if you can hide that tech, then you can really catch a Terran off guard. In this case, alright, we see Light come forward here, choosing to take that walkway on the left, and yeah, he's gonna put down some pressure here. He's got 3 siege tanks, 4 vultures, and 4 marines, and an SCV, laying some mines at the front of this pylon wall here. That's a lot of dragoons though. 4, 5, that's like 10 dragoons. I think the idea here is Light wanted to punish the greedy opener, but there's already a Reaver here. Yeah, no, I think Light just wanted to exert a little bit of pressure. As soon as you see that Reaver and that Dragoon count, you pretty much have to back up, I think. Got some mines down, but he is packing up and going home at the moment, which I think is the right move. It's really hard to attack into the natural base on this map. You can just see how constricted everything is. Alright, so we got an armory going up for Terran. Rain looking like he wants to take his 4th base. No, I'm sorry, 3rd base. Oh, okay, we got a fleet beacon and 2 stargates here for Rain. So Rain is going for a carrier rush. And I think, honestly, I'm just gonna put this out there. I think it might work because of Rain's opener, the greedy opener, and just this map as well. It's harder to move around with ground forces, and Rain has it in a, you know, he has those buildings in a good position to hide them for a pretty long time. So you know, let's see. Light's got an idea here to take more aggressive positions with a minefield and some siege tanks, but this army, you know, the tank count's not that high yet. Looks like Rain agrees with me because he just wants to try to smash it. He's coming forward with this Reaver drop, lands a really good scarabs, takes out one of the tanks. Those tanks at the top of the attack get smashed by that huge Dragoon count, and yeah, Rain just takes that position. I feel like he barely lost anything. He lost the Zealots probably, and that's it. So this is, you know, you got a Protoss here that's teching to carriers, but the ground army was crushed as well by the Protoss ground army. So yeah, not looking good here for Light. He still, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any clue about this carrier tech that's coming out because, you know, it looks like Rain's just doing a pretty standard Dragoon, Reaver composition. Alright, so Light finds this hidden pylon and robotic support bay. You know, small win for him, but again, Rain is not... He's not really interested in Reavers anymore. He's making carriers 2 at a time. Couple Goliaths coming out, more factories being added for Light without machine shops, so maybe he's sniffed this out. You know, if I see pure Goliath coming out at this point, then yeah, then I think he must have gotten a comsat that caught vision of those Stargates.
시작을 하다 보니까 그러니까 확신을 할 수 없는 상황에서 한번 과감한 그런 판단을 할 수밖에 없었던 걸로 보이고요.
Couple Goliaths, but not that many.
한번 찌르기가 어느 정도 이제
I think once Rain gets maybe 4 or 6 carriers, that's when it starts getting pretty scary for the Terran, because that's the number of carriers you need to really make their presence known on the map. Reavers are landing some really good scarab shots while Light is trying to push across the map again. You know, this is the right choice for Light, I think, to attack. You know, you can't just sit around waiting for these carriers to finish making. But the problem is, I think he's just had too much of an economic edge. But he is catching these Dragoons, some really good movement by the Vultures to try to catch him and try to magnify the damage that's being done to him. But, alright, Rain is deciding to show his carriers. Light has taken a siege position there, and Rain backs off. But he's definitely seen the carriers now, right? Because, I mean, I hope he has. You need a lot of Goliaths at this point. But you can see Rain is filling out his army with Zealots. Zealot legs are probably going to finish up really soon here. Zealots, you know, if you're dealing with carriers with anti-air, then the Zealots are going to start taking better engagements. Zealots are still slow though. I feel like Rain should, yeah, good. Yeah, back off for now. Wait for Zealot legs. Alright, we got that magic number of 4 carriers. You're gonna see the carriers start to focus fire the Goliaths here. Sometimes you see them focus fire the tanks, but I think he has correctly identified that this Terran army doesn't have enough anti-air, and Light just GG's. Yeah, it's too much. That Nexus first opener into a couple of failed, you know, Terran pushes into carrier rush on, you know, 3 bases that are pretty safe. It's just it's gonna be too hard to beat that. So Light taps out, and I think it's right, you know, because he was about to lose that army as well. As soon as the Goliath count got really low and the carriers are free to just target anything and make tanks disappear, and the ground army was big enough, the Zealots and Dragoons was big enough to pretty much hold their own against the Terran ground army too. There really wasn't much recourse left for light.
16강 A조 경기에
And
함께하고 계십니다.
that's it.
그리고
Rain
8강 진출자가
still showing
탄생했는데요.
this
바로
streak of
후반
dominance here.
정윤종 선수입니다. 지금 바로
Makes it into the round of
만나보겠습니다.
8. I think he was really only challenged in one game in the last game, right? Where Light was able to take it, but other than that, he is looking like an absolute monster right now. I'm really excited to see his PVZ, because Z is, you know, PVZ is his better, slightly better matchup than PVT, and he's an old school Protoss, and it seems like you gotta kind of be a new school Protoss to fight these current generation Zergs.
사실 ASL
But,
내에서 정윤종 선수의 테란전 승률이
let's see
조금
if
낮은
Rain
편인데 오늘
pulls
테란
out
선수,
something from
정말 내로라는 강한 테란
something
선수를 상대로
something from
이렇게
the past to
좋은
fight off
경기력을
these Zergs. There are a lot of
보여줬다는
Zergs
의미가
in
있는 것
ASL
같아요.
right now.
본인에겐 어떤가요?
I think in the round of 16 there were 7 Zergs,
요새 좀
5 Protoss, and 4
패턴이 바뀌어가지고
Terrans. So
요즘
Zerg
좀
is the most
템플러나
represented
좀
race.
셔틀이나 이런 걸 많이
And they're
쓰는데
coming. They're in groups
이런
C, D, and
플레이가
E, I
오히려
think.
저한테
Or no,
좀
just
잘
there's
맞는
only
것
4
같아요.
groups right now. So
그래가지고
groups C and D.
이제 이기는 것
So
같아요.
this is pretty good for Rain, honestly. He cleared out some really strong Protosses and Terrans in this group, and
이런 컨셉으로 좀 경기를 준비해 오셨던
now
것
he can
같아요.
practice his PVZ.
아무래도 제가 최근에 좀 테란전 할때
Alright, that's gonna do it for
거의 다
today.
이겼어가지고 자신감이 있어서
Some pretty
그냥
excellent
무난히
PVTs,
하면은
and
충분히
you know,
이길 것 같아서
it was a
그렇게
treat to watch
플레이했어요.
Rain just
많은
dominate this
분들이
group.
정말 기본기에서만큼은
Thanks, everybody.
정윤종 선수를
See you
따라갈
next time.
선수가 없다.